Hi everyone, this is Ronald Malencio, and I'm going to be talking about alpha today, specifically around the worker placement piece, and kind of share some ideas I have. And so if you have any thoughts or comments, please feel free to let me know. So let's go actually take a look at the board. Okay, so without getting into much too details about what everything else here is, I'm just going to be focusing on this piece. So for those who watched my previous video, the idea is you are a dog at a resort and there is a worker placement piece where I call it the resort phase, in which you take certain actions to prepare for your walk over here. So a couple ideas I had was just like in standard worker placement, so here are the 5 dogs here. And just like with standard worker placement, the idea is if, let's say, green went in this purple section here, yellow would be unable, or anyone else would be unable to go into this purple section. And so each of the colors here, you can see, this is red actually, denotes a specific section. So the currency in this game is called trust. And so these trust tokens are what allows dogs to go and kind of venture out into the resort. And of course, you cannot have unlimited freedom, because once you've reached the limit of humans, they don't allow you to walk around the resort anymore, which is essentially the end of your turn. So the current rules was that every time you do move, you would actually spend 1 trust. So each dog starts with 3. And so whenever they move around, they spend 1 trust. So you can imagine if green were to move into this purple section, that would cost 1 trust. And then same thing if yellow were to move in this green section, that's 1 trust, and vice versa. So other rules that I wanted to enforce is that each dog actually cannot be in the same room, so in this case the same color, as other dogs. So one valid scenario would be maybe something like this, how everyone is in each different section of the room. So that's one layout here. And so you can imagine, well, that's just a basic. So let's go into the more details. So one challenge is that space is a little bit more limited for the dog. So for example, this dog here, green, and the rule, by the way, is you actually must exit this room. And so for green, the only option green really has is in this red section, which is pretty unfortunate. And vice versa. For yellow, yellow's only option would be this purple option. So that's a little unfortunate for what options are available. So one way to expand on that is to carry on with the dog theme. So here's our current scoreboard. You can see how blue is in first place, followed by red, black, yellow, and then green. So one variant I'm considering is, according to the reputation of a dog, so in this case blue has the highest, blue actually has the ability to go to any room as long as they're the, how do you say, the most senior or alpha dog among that group. So in Blue's case over there, Blue could actually go anywhere. So maybe Blue could then want to go over here, and that would be actually a valid move. In another example, you could see Black. So player Black over there could go into any room that yellow or green is at. So with that said, Black could actually go, well, in this yellow space, because that's free. They cannot go into this red space because that's where Blue's at, but Black could actually go into this space because Black is actually kind of dominating over yellow. So then that would be kind of a valid piece here. So I think that would be very interesting because it kind of makes the worker placement dynamic throughout the game, because the rules of where you could place varies based on your track on the scoreboard. I can see some possible balancing out issues, but that's something I need to think about. But that is actually one factor to address the worker placement aspect. Another part I was considering is, earlier I was mentioning that each movement costs 1 trust. And so one idea I had is every time one person occupies a space in the room, it actually ends up becoming more costly to go in this space. So for example, black landed here and it costs 1 trust, but maybe there's going to be some marker here. So I don't have markers right now, but you could imagine that once black leaves, say it goes here, that the next person who actually comes over here and takes up this space, it will actually cost 2 trust instead of 1. So right now those are just a couple different ways I'm considering on playing around with this worker placement aspect. And so I will share more details as I've come to development and what I finalize. And if you have any ideas, feel free to share. Thanks.